JP here. UFC 199 was supposed to feature the rematch with Chris Weidman, who was dethroned by the now champion Luke Rockhold. Unfortunately, in a rematch that I kind of was looking forward to, Chris Weidman has pulled out of his UFC 199 fight due to a neck problem. I believe a herniated disc or something along those lines. Causing his a nerve in his neck to be pinched or whatnot, so he has to get that dealt with. So this is just, this fight is happening very soon, June 4th to be exact. So that's just a couple weeks away, a little over 2 weeks. It's hard to find a replacement that soon. You think Jacare, who just actually fought last weekend, so that's kind of a no-go. I believe he actually needs surgery, knee surgery anyway. Then you think of maybe Yoel Romero, but I think he's still under suspension, so that's a no-go as well. Or I'm not sure if he is under suspension or not. He might even have a fight booked, I'm not sure. But in steps Michael the Count Bisbing, who is one of the mainstays in the UFC. He won the Ultimate Fighter Season 3, coached by Tito Ortiz, Ken Shamrock. And he's a guy that I hated, both on that show and in his post-winnings. And over the years, I slowly became a Michael Bisbing fan. And I gotta be honest, he is one of my absolute favorite fighters. Not because of his style, not because of his excitement, because really, I don't like his style that much, and he's not really that exciting. I mean, some fights he is, but most of the time he's not. I just like his personality. I like him as a personality. I want to see good things happen to him. He came off very cocky and arrogant when he first came around, which I normally like, but because he was British, maybe it seemed like extra douchey, and I didn't like him. But after seeing him as an analyst, and after seeing him behind the scenes, and seeing him coach The Ultimate Fighter against Mayhem Miller and Dan Henderson, I believe, which I still didn't like him. It was like right after he got knocked out by Dan Henderson that I started to really like Bisbing. And I really, really want to see good things happen to Bisbing, because he has fought so many times in the UFC, one of the most active fighters ever in the UFC, one of the most wins ever in the UFC, if not the I don't remember the exact record, but he is a guy who's been there, and he always gets this close to a title shot and does not get it. Now, do I think he's going to beat Luke Rockhold? No, I don't. I do think Bisbing has been improving still into his late 30s. I think he's like 36, 37 now. But he is rematching Luke Rockhold. They did fight before back in 2014, in which Rockhold handily won that fight. I do think Bisbing has improved, but I also think Rockhold has improved. I don't see Bisbing doing much in this fight, but I think it is amazing that he finally gets his title shot after so many years in the UFC and never actually getting to fight for the title. I mean, he made his debut in 2006 when he beat Josh Haynes by TKO to become Tough 3 Ultimate Fighter champion. I mean, it's great. It's great that he's finally getting his what he deserves. I think he really does deserve this title shot. And he's on a 3-fight win streak. His last win over Anderson Silva, which I did actually score for Michael Bisbing, even though some people thought it was for Anderson Silva. I scored for Bisbing. Hopefully, I might be more excited for this fight just to see Bisbing make that walk for a UFC title than I was for the Weidman Rockhold rematch. So UFC 199, pretty interesting turn of events, but also on that card is a fight that is worth the money alone, and that is Uriah Faber versus Dominick Cruz. Dominick Cruz is another fighter who I absolutely did not like for years while he fought. I didn't become a fan of him until he was injured, and I watched him as an analyst, and I watched him talk about his injury and come back from his injury, get injured again and come back from that injury. I think he's a bigger star now than he ever was when he was active. So that versus Uriah Faber, of course, the trilogy fight, big stuff there. Got Max Holloway on the card, Dan Henderson, Dustin Poirier, who I'm a huge fan of, BJ Penn, Cole Miller should be a good fight, Ortega, Clay Guida, Benel Dariush, James Vick, Jessica Penne versus Jessica Andrade. I mean, the list, that's a really good card so far. And, you know, you also got Kevin Casey on the card as well. Dong Hyun Kim. I mean, it's a good card. It's a great card. I can't wait to check it out. Bisbing, you know, mad props to Bisbing. Fighting so long and being, you know, an elite top 5, top 10 guy throughout most of his career. It's truly awesome to see him finally get the title shot that he's been working so hard for. And, you know, he honestly does seem like one of the only fighters, one of the rare fighters to do it all while not on performance-enhancing drugs. I'd be very, very shocked and surprised if he ever popped for anything, and I can't say that about a lot of fighters. So Michael Bisbing, congratulations on getting that title shot, and awesome.